Hey YouTube, Tooextrememx here, and today what I'm going to show is a basic video on how to check your valve clearances on the newer shim style four-wheelers and dirt bikes. Newer shim style four-wheelers and dirt bikes don't have the rocker arm assemblies. They actually have a cam lobe and a valve cap setup. First thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to set your engine at top dead center. Verify everything's at top dead center, and then you're going to need to get yourself a set of feeler gauges. They're different thickness style metal gauges. You want to try and find ones that are fairly skinny, because there's some tight spaces you have to get into with these gauges to check and make sure the clearances are right. I'm doing this on, for reference on my YFZ 450, and what you're going to need to do is you need to look in your manual or get a manual for your quad or dirt bike to find out what the exhaust and intake clearances need to be. On the YFZ 450, the exhaust clearances are 0.20 to 0.25. So what I've already done is I've gone through my feeler gauges here and pulled out a few gauges that are right within that range. As you can see right here, 0.20 or 0.203, 0.229, and I have one that's actually a little bit bigger than my main clearance there, which is a 0.254. So I know if this gauge is the only one that fits right, I need to replace my shims. But I'll show how to do that in another video. What I usually do is I start out with the smallest gauge first, that's within the clearance measurements, and make sure it's nice and clean. And what you need to do is you need to get it between that cap and where the cam lobe, as you see here, the cam lobes here meet the cap. And I'm going to do it on this one here. So you slide the gauge in. It may be a little bit hard to get the gauge in right off the bat. Once it's in, you want to slide it back and forth. And basically what you're feeling for is some resistance. Doesn't mean there has to be a lot of resistance. You want just enough resistance that it feels like that cap and this lobe are, just pinching it lightly. It's just like the resistance you'd feel if you held a piece of paper lightly between your fingertips and pulled on the paper with your other hand. That's the type of resistance that you want to feel here. This one is actually it's pretty good. Resistance is good on that one. So this one's actually within spec. And what you do is you'll go around to all the cam lobes on your quad. Now all quads, the exhaust clearances are different than the intake clearances. They're not usually the same numbers. Like with the YFZ 450, the exhaust is 0.20 to 0.25 millimeter. The intake is 0.10 to 0.15 millimeter. So again, I recommend that you get a manual on your four-wheeler or dirt bike, so that way you can get the proper clearances before you check your clearances on your bike. I'm going to do a video here that I'll probably upload with this one on how to actually go about replacing the shims on the bike or your quad. I hope this video helped some people out. It's Tooextrememx. You guys have fun riding.